Hello there, my friend. It's Tania, Gabrielle, Wealth Astrologist. Welcome to Star Codes, the podcast where we look at an upcoming event in the stars and numbers, the astrology and numerology. And this event is a pivotal one right at the end of our 9 universal year. 2025 adds up to 9, which is endings. And we have the last sign, which also represents endings, Pisces, being very much activated by Saturn and Neptune. Neptune happens to be the ruler of that final sign of Pisces, and Neptune is making a lot of waves, literally and figuratively. Neptune stations direct at 29 degrees Pisces, and that is what we will be focusing on because it really signifies a final stage before that big 12,000 year event. Neptune entered Pisces in 2011, and it will remain there until January 26, 2026. But at that point, it will be entering the first degree of the zodiac, so moving from the final to the first. And so this is why when we also in the numerology end a 9-year cycle, 9, and move to 1 at the very same time, it is highly significant. So Neptune stationed retrograde on July 4th of 2025, and it moved back into Aries. It was in Aries for a very short time, just dipping up, and then, these slow-moving planets have retrogrades and then station direct, so they move back and forth at times. And so it moved back from Aries into Pisces on October 22nd. So on October 22nd, all the way until January 26th next year, Neptune is sitting on 29 degrees Pisces, which is extraordinary. It's the final degree of the zodiac in Neptune's sign of Pisces. We have 360 degrees, and it's basically stationing this whole time, meaning it's not moving. It's just sitting on that degree. So now we are going to move to the moment where Neptune stations direct, meaning it's been slowly retrograding on 1 degree, 29 degree Pisces, and now it's stationing direct, and it's going to start moving forward again and then move into Aries for its next 165-year cycle on January 26th. So let's look at this date. It happens on December 10th, 2025. That date adds up to 13. So it's a 13 universal date, and 13 is the divine feminine number. It's connected to the moon. The moon has 13 cycles in a year. We have 13 weeks in a season, and the moon is absolutely connected to this very divine feminine energy of Pisces and Neptune. The moon rules Cancer, another water sign like Pisces. And then Scorpio is the third water sign. So we have this very beautiful numerology date of 13 to signify there is going to be a transformation, a life, death, rebirth, which is what 13 represents. The cycles of life, the phases of the season, the lunations. So this is highly significant to begin with. Now, as I said, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. And before Neptune was discovered, Jupiter ruled Pisces. So there is a very big energy to Pisces. Neptune is about expansion without borders, and Jupiter is about seeing beyond the horizon. It's the largest planet in our solar system. So we have with Pisces this very, very expansive energy. So Neptune's in the final stages of completing that long 165-year cycle around the zodiac. And then, of course, Neptune will be joining Saturn at 0 degrees Aries. That will be in February. That last happened at least 12,000 years ago when you consider where the other slow-moving planets are at the same time, at the beginning of their signs. And this is a big story that I go into in the Ultimate Yearly Forecast. So if you want to know more about this absolutely incredible moment in human history, we dive deeply into it in a very exciting way, and you can find out more at 2026forecast.com. Now, Saturn already stationed direct on November 28th. Saturn is in Pisces as well. So both planets in Pisces at the same time at the very end of the zodiac, right? That's the big big astrology news of this decade. So we are beginning the final stage now of that epic, astounding conjunction, because it's not like they're not together already. They're just not exactly together. And that will happen literally on the first degree of the zodiac, 0 degrees Aries, on February 20th of next year. Now, 29 degrees, which is where Neptune has been stationing since October 22nd and will remain until January 26th, 29 degrees of any sign is called a critical degree. And it's critical because it is wrapping up the lessons that need to be learned. So it has more intensity. It's the final moment that a planet is in a sign. So 29 degrees Pisces is also the final degree of the zodiac. So it has sort of a double finality around it, which is why this is such a major moment, the final stage, you could call it, because of that incredible placement of these planets, Neptune and then soon to be Saturn. So the point of no return is here. And again, I talk about the point of no return, which is what I'm calling 2026 in the ultimate yearly forecast, because when the planet of karma, time, responsibility, and structure, Saturn, joins with the planet of unconditional love, mysticism, creativity, imagination, reaching beyond boundaries, we are all one energy, Neptune, it is truly bringing spirit into practice, making love the only reality. Unconditional love is the ultimate keyword for Neptune, and reality and timing are the keywords for Saturn. Saturn is Chronos. It's named after Chronos, so it represents time, and it's time for the destiny to unfold. So these two planets joining as one, just as they both cross the threshold from final degree of the zodiac to first degree of the zodiac, both start their brand new cycles around the zodiac at the same time. Both join forces to release all the past energy that is no longer supporting humanity, because this is a collective moment. The old order is gone. And this is why these times are so filled with revelations and outing unbefore or unbeknownst to us secrets. Some people knew them, but most people did not. All of that is part of what needs to cleanse. And if Pisces is anything, it cleanses. It's a water sign. It's ruled by Neptune. Neptune is the lord of the waters, the oceans. So water heals. And so the spiritual significance of Neptune stationing at 29 degrees Pisces is so deep. In the numerology, 29 is a master number. 29 reduces to 11. 11 is the portal. 2 plus 9 is 11. 11 is the two pylons in ancient times that when you went through an initiation, you basically died to your old self, right? So everything became dark so that the new light can emerge. And that is what we are experiencing. Literally the sense of, where are we? Where am I? Why does it feel like there's no manual for these times? Well, it's because the initiation is in play. And this is why it's highly significant that Neptune is one of the two planets, Neptune, the ruler of this final sign, that then moves into that first sign of confidence and unbelievable courage and forward momentum and fire that represents Aries, that inner courage being born. So Neptune represents that eternal timelessness. And that timelessness calls for us to surrender, because there is no time, there is no schedule. It's just literally surrendering to go with the natural divine flow. And that is how you feel the call and heed the call and hear the call to make your dreams come true through sound judgment rather than through idealism, right? So when Neptune sits on the final degree of its own sign, the final degree of the zodiac, you're deeply accepting now in these final weeks of this experience. You're finally accepting now. We're all accepting and surrendering to go with that spiritual flow of life while making our vision real. And that's really the key. This is why Saturn is so important, because Saturn makes everything real. It strips down all the unnecessary ideas and thoughts and beliefs that keep us from moving forward and being purified so that we are clear about where we're heading. So the other part of this 29-degree critical degree is it intensifies the healing and compassion of Pisces. What it is making clear, though, is that the healing and compassion that we want so much for humanity begins at home. So it's a personal responsibility. So that's really the nexus point of the final degree, is it brings it all home, so that we see that creating a place of acceptance, unity, and peace only happens collectively when we take any opportunity in our life to play an active part to manifest this spiritual vision. We take it seriously, so it bears fruit. And so that's the day-to-day activity. And interestingly enough, Pisces, it does govern the 12th house in astrology, but the 12th house has a partner, and that's the 6th house. So the opposite houses, like the opposite signs, are partners. They help us to see what we need that is maybe unconscious. So for Pisces, that is the sign of Virgo, and that is the 6th house. And the 6th house is the house of our daily life, what we do day by day. It is the house of health, of healing. And the big call right now, because Pisces also represents healing, but it is healing through energy and looking at the unconscious and bringing the unseen to the surface and studying like astrology, numerology, whereas Virgo is very meticulous and creates actual practical ways. It's an earth sign like Capricorn. Saturn rules Capricorn. So the earth signs make things real. They build our libraries and our parks, and they are the map makers and the structure implementers. And so then it can bear fruit. This beautiful vision bears fruit. So this is the final time that we have now since 2011, between 2011 and 2026, when Neptune was in Pisces. This is now the final stage. So once Neptune moves into Aries on January 26th, personal integrity and authenticity are going to be the big call. So the honest expression of who you are at soul level, right? The unique expression of who you are, that will help you then to attract the people in your life, the situations that are wholesome and good. So it's then about the pure self-expression with no pretenses, with no hidden motives, right? It's, Aries is just to the point. So the key to the peace and fulfillment and joy part of this equation is the power and beauty within you. And with Neptune in Aries, the major lesson will be to grant others that right as well. And this is really the most important part, is that as we come into our own confidence and express who we are at soul level without excuses, we have to grant that to everyone else. And that actually becomes quite natural, because being confident in who you are and what you have to share, while taking into account the needs of others, is one and the same. Libra is opposite Aries. So there's the opposite sign, the 1st house and 7th house. So they will play together once Neptune and Saturn move into Aries. And now that Neptune is moving direct, it's going to be easier to flow and to accept and to surrender and to literally be fully aware within ourselves about just letting things wash over, like, okay, this is how it is. I just didn't realize it, or this is how it is. And now I can move forward knowing what I know to be true. So I literally don't have to be part of some idealistic version of events. I can be in the real world now. So this conjunction coming up, like I said, is one of the major focal points because it will impact us not just next year, not just the next decade, but for the next century at least. It's at least a 12,000 year event. So we go deeply into that and so many more oracles for 2026 in the 2026 Ultimate Yearly Forecast, which you can now get instant access to. Yay! We just had the event a couple days ago. It was amazing. So just go to 2026forecast.com. And it's not just about the collective, it's also about you. We cover your personal moon sign, sun sign, and rising sign, your personal year forecast in the numerology as well. And you get an incredibly detailed star code guide for every cosmic event for next year, plus prosperity portal days and best days to invest, so money days. These are so incredible. There's a secret formula that I use to share those dates with you for 2026, and there are numerous dates, much more than 2025. So there's really a lot of joy and positivity to come in 2026. Very, very exciting. So again, go to 2026forecast.com. You'll get instant access to that Ultimate Yearly Forecast. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you in our next video. Lots of love.